This episode is brought to you by Sony Pictures Classics, presenting On Swift Horses, starring Daisy Edgar Jones, Jacob Elordi, Will Poulter, Diego Calva, and Sasha Kaye. Muriel and her husband Lee are beginning a bright new life in California when he returns from the Korean War. But their newfound stability is upended by the arrival of Lee's charismatic brother, Julius, a wayward gambler with a secret past. A dangerous love triangle quickly forms. When Julius takes off in search of the young card cheat he's fallen for, Muriel's longing for something more propels her into a secret life of her own, gambling on racehorses and exploring a love she never dreamed possible. On Swift Horses opens April 25th only in theaters. Get tickets now at onswifthorses.com. This episode of On Display is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the U.S., I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific needs. I've found that Booking.com has something for everyone. Find exactly what you're looking for on Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Airfare is now lower than what it was in 2019.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of On Display. I've missed you guys so much. I've been traveling all over the world, but I really hope everyone's having an awesome week. I have such a great one for you guys today. This guy knows all the ins and outs when it comes to the rewards programs and how to use them best. Whether it's travel, groceries, or entertainment, he's the guy that will tell you the best cards to have in the best cards to use when it comes to like the credit card game and traveling. I know you've heard his name before. He's definitely been on this podcast. He's a fan favorite. So welcome our returning guest, the points guy, Brian Kelly. What's up,
Thanks
Brian?
for having me. What are your fun travel plans this summer, Melissa?
Oh my gosh. So I just got back from Rome. I went to, you know what I did, which I probably don't know if I did this right. I went to Paris for 24 hours, Brian, just 24 hours. And then I flew over to Rome and stayed in Rome for like 4 or 5 nights. And I feel like I could have balanced that better, right?
Well, I agree because, you know, when you fly to Charles de Gaulle, and lately, especially with the Olympics this summer, the traffic is crazy. It's taken me 2 hours to get from Charles de Gaulle to like the center of Paris. And there's not really good like metro options. I don't know if you found the same, but when you're spending like 2 hours to get into the city and back, like one day just isn't enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, it totally wasn't. But in my defense, we went with another couple who we had kind of planned it, and we both brought our children with us. And, you know, my kids are teenagers, so it's better now, but it's their first time to Europe ever. My kids have never been to Europe ever. So I always waited. Like, I didn't feel the need to, which you are the king of taking, like, we need to hear all about this. Cause, you know, guys, Brian has been on the podcast before. You guys loved him. He's going to tell us all about our travel and the points and where to go and what airline to book and everything. And Brian, the last time you were on, it was like May 2022, and you now have an almost 2-year-old little boy. Congratulations on that gorgeous child.
Thank you. Yeah, Dean is just the sweetest, most fun boy. He's actually been to 16 countries in 20 months. So he is a jet setter.
Wow.
Yeah. He's just been so fun to travel with. But I want to know, how were your kids? How did they deal with jet lag? Were they like up in the middle of the night, or did they handle it pretty well?
Okay, so we definitely had, this is what I did. I won't say it was the first time they ever went to Europe. I mean, we've been to every island everywhere, but Europe, no. So guess what I did to them? Joe and I sat in first class, and
As
then,
you deserve. Yeah.
Right. And then like on the way there, I put them in, like that, you know, that thing in the middle, not economy, but there's something
it's like the premium.
Premium
economy.
What do you think of that? It was pretty good.
I think it's great. I'm 6'7", so I hate economy. I mean, I literally, my legs don't fit. The seats are really thin. The premium economy now, most airlines have it. I mean, it's nice. It's kind of like domestic first class where you get that like recliner seat. You can recline in it enough to kind of get sleep. Of course, I prefer a flat bed, but for people who don't want to spend that outrageous 5 times the price for business class, I think premium economy is like the go-to, because the basic economy these days is bleak.
Yeah, and they've definitely flown first class before, just flying them to like Turks and Caicos and Aruba or whatever. But I was like, guys, you're doing like the premium economy. There's 3 of you and you need to earn your keep. Like my mother took me to Disney World in Orlando. That's all I did before I got married. Like it was like, we're going to Disney World, and it was huge for me and I appreciated it. And like, it is what it is, but like you're going to Paris and Rome this week and you're not sitting in first class. You have to earn your keep, right? So they were so funny. They were like, they got off the plane and my boys were all right. My daughter was like, oh, my neck, you guys are evil. Like we were just like giggling at them the whole time. And they said they didn't go back far enough. Like they were thinking they would go like a little bit more, but they did feed them great food. Like they had 3 meals, they had a blanket, which I was like, you guys are good. Like that was, but you know what? It's not that cheap. It's not like, it's still expensive to put them in the premium.
So expensive. I mean, using points can definitely defray that cost, but yeah, it adds up. I really want to know did you do any purchases in Paris? Because the euro is pretty weak right now. And so many of my fashionista friends are like, going to Paris to get the Chanel, or did you make any investments in your wardrobe?
Yes. So I did stop at Fendi. But you know what? I didn't do that in Paris, actually. I'm sorry. I shopped in the Fendi in Rome. And then I did the whole global thing where they give you the receipt and I did that whole thing. So, I shopped in Rome, not in Paris, because as it was 24 hours was not enough, let alone to like go shopping. So, why is Paris? It's better in Paris than Rome?
No, it's just like anywhere in the EU. So for people listening who aren't aware, like you can get tax-free shopping. So even when you pay in the euro these days, because the dollar is very strong. So you get more bang for your buck with just buying the dollar, because our dollars are worth more. But when you go, you can get up to like 20% back at the airport whenever you leave. You just have to show your goods sometimes. It's a little bit annoying. Did you find the process annoying with the global blue? Like you have to like show the receipt. Sometimes they'll actually ask to see the merchandise, which is like annoying if you checked it in a bag. But overall, like you can save a lot of money shopping in Europe and getting the tax back before you come home.
I have a confession to make. So I went to Fendi and she showed me the price of the bag, and my kids were I took my 2 teenagers with me. Joe had no desire. So because they probably thought they were going to get something as well. So they, we're walking around Fendi. I found this bag that I was obsessed with. So I'm just like going to pay for it. She tells me all about the thing. She's like, just walk down to the piazza right over there. There's the global blue sign. You're going to just do this, do that, and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, sounds like no big deal. No problem. I'm going to do that. So my son's sitting there finding the Fendi bag on Google the whole time, like trying to figure out, like, are you actually saving money, or are they, cause he's such a numbers kid,
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was cheaper, even like just in the store, to just buy it in Rome. It was a cheaper price to start with. And then they gave me, I guess, that 20% or whatever the tax is. But I will admit, so I went to the piazza and I did what I had to do. And then they said, make sure you scan your passport at the airport. And when I got to the airport, I did the whole thing where the guy greets me and he just brings me through.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you have anything like with your cash back, the global? I was like, no, like they're going to credit me back no matter what. I was like, that's bull. Like, I don't know. And I just left and I'm like, shit, like, am I going to see that credit back now or no? Do they really check that?
It depends. Like you probably should have, but even if you do go to Europe again anytime this year, like you can always go and try to scan it. And I've even heard that they'll let you do it in the US. Like in New York City, they have like a global blue office. I'm not sure about that, but usually when you scan it, it like text messages you like, okay, your refund's coming. It's all pretty good as long as you follow the directions. So I hate to burst your bubble. I wouldn't bank on it coming through, but I'm going to put out some good karma points for you to get
I
that
am
refund that you
so
deserve.
annoyed. I was annoyed at myself. I was like, come on, Melissa. It would have took 2 seconds. But I don't know why one of my friends, I feel like I won't mention their names because they might be a housewife, said to me like, oh, you don't have to do the whole process going back, like yada, yada, yada. Just whatever. They'll credit your card. And I did see Global Blue has been emailing me like, you have 1 step left. And I'm like, shit, what did I do? But so it is worth it, you're saying, to go shopping in the other countries. It's definitely cheaper.
For
right?
sure. But just remember to do that quick scan. I know the feeling when you're in the airport, like you're headed home, you've got your kids, you're just like,
over it. Yeah.
Over it. But I do have to just say, I love like making your kids, fly in premium economy and then taking them to the store and not buying them. Like these are character building experiences that I think like too many kids who grow up in a certain lifestyle don't get. So I think you're teaching them good lessons. Like, look, you want the Fendi bag, you got to work for it.
Yes. And I'm so happy you're saying that. Listen, they got plenty of clothing before we even left America to go. And they were both just like looking around the store like, well, I would really like this and I really like that. And I was like, well, you really need to get a job, both of you. Like that's just, it's not going to be that simple, but trust me, they're fine. Like they get a lot, but Joe is big on, they need to earn it. Like you can't just wake up in the morning and jump on first class, he's like, you have to work for it a little bit. So we're a little hard knocks that way.
Are the boys going to work with Joe? Like
Gino, I think Gino is my older one. He's definitely 100% going to. You could tell Gino's just got that work. He just came out with his own clothing line without me, completely without me, called Placidity Clothing. They're hoodies and sweatshirts, him and his friend. He's got that business mindset.
Yeah, the hustle factor. Yeah, I love that.
Yep, Gino is the one. He doesn't know what to do, what business to open. I don't know that he'll even go to college. He's more of like I just want to go to work and like be an entrepreneur and make money. Like that's Gino.
And I think most entrepreneurs there's a reason why so many drop out of school. I mean, I think there's going to be a big change in the next like 10, 15 years of people just like going straight into like actual work. And I also just think that there's a need for doers out there. Like not everyone should be going to 4-year universities. It's, I think this model of like, it's either that or you're a failure, like has to evolve because,
you're speaking Joe's language right now. Yeah. You are speaking Joe Gorga's language because he's like, I know a lot of successful people that just jumped right in it and they didn't, take all the tests for 4 years. And now, obviously, if you want to be a doctor and a lawyer and all of these certain things, there's no getting past it. But that's a whole nother conversation that I can have with you for 3 hours. And Joe Gorga would love to chime in. This episode of On Display is brought to you by Booking.com. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the U.S., I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific needs. I found that Booking.com has something for everyone. Guys, Joe and I use Booking.com quite often, especially when it comes to just finding a quick getaway for the weekend. It's so easy to find the exact place that you want to stay in. Patio, check. Pool, check. Close to the coffee shop, check. No matter who you are, Booking.com helps you find the stay that's absolutely right for you. So check them out and find exactly what you're booking for on Booking.com. It's home project season and Wayfair is the best kept secret for all things renovation. Whether you're making a little update like new kitchen cabinet hardware or doing a full renovation, Wayfair has stylish and quality home improvement products for every budget. Well, Wayfair is great because they have amazing pieces for every single classy home look. Whether it's mirrors for your bathrooms, tiles for your kitchen, or outdoor lighting for your backyard, Wayfair has it all. And their website is so easy to navigate. You can find exactly what you're looking for with just a couple clicks. Plus, you can narrow things down by your own budget, which comes in handy so much when it comes to finding what works with your own pockets. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your spring home goals with endless inspiration for every space and budget. whether you need a light refresh or an organizational overhaul. And their delivery is free and easy, even on the big stuff. They'll even help you set it up. Shop the best selection of home improvement online. Get renovating with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Guys, we're all spending money these days, and if you're like me, wouldn't it be nice to get some of that cash back all for just shopping? Well, that's where Rakuten comes into play. Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. We're talking fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and Saks Fifth Avenue pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. Cash back is deposited directly into your PayPal account, or Rakuten can send you a check. It's that easy. And here's a little tip. You can even maximize your savings by stacking cash back on top of other deals like store sales and coupons. You're already shopping at your favorite stores, so why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up. But let me ask you this. What is the best card right now for points, for travel? Like, especially if you're a big spender, right? If you're a big spender, and you can also tell me if you're a budget friendly family, like, are there different cards for each type of person?
Yeah, I would say, so for points alone, it just depends what you spend money on. If you're spending a lot of money on groceries and dining out, which are like my two big categories, especially being a dad now, like the Amex Gold card is a no-brainer. It's 4 points per dollar at supermarkets and dining. So, and that has a pretty good sign-up bonus as well. Also, if you know anyone that has a credit card, they can refer you, and often you'll get like more bonus points, and they'll also get a referral bonus. So if you know any points people in your world and you go up to them and say, hey, refer me with your Amex Platinum or Gold or Chase Sapphire, you will make a very good friend because then they'll get a bunch of points as well. Of course, we want everyone going to thepointsguy.com if you don't know anyone. And we actually have a best credit cards list that'll break these all down. But I think like the Amex Gold is an amazing card. And then the Chase Sapphire. I think for people who want to get into like valuable travel points, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is like the perfect intro card. You earn double points on all travel and dining. And travel it's not just airlines and hotels. It's also like parking, tolls, public transit. So it's a pretty big category.
What do you feel about the Platinum card, the Amex Platinum?
So the Amex Platinum card, in my opinion, is the best credit card for perks. So whenever you're looking at credit cards these days, you should look at the points, which are valuable. And, when you're looking at points, you want to accrue points on a credit card that's going to give you a lot of different options when it comes time to redeem. So the Amex Platinum's good. You earn 5 points per dollar on airfare, but it's only like 1 point per dollar on everything else. And the goal of the points game is to be earning like more than 1 point per dollar on pretty much everything you spend. So people are usually shocked when like the cheaper Amex Gold is actually much better for points.
Wow.
I think the Platinum makes a lot of sense if you go to the Centurion lounges. They're opening one at Newark, and they just opened one in Atlanta. So if you go to those Amex Centurion lounges, they're really nice, like high-end food. They're not going to nickel and dime you like a lot of the airline lounges. Then it can make a lot of sense. But if you're not going to the lounges, I mean, the almost $700 annual fee, it just depends. You kind of really have to go through and say, am I going to get the travel credit, the Saks credit, the Uber credit? There's a lot of different credits that if you maximize them, yeah, absolutely, that annual fee can be paid for every year. But for everyday people who are only traveling once or twice a year, I'm not sure the Platinum card. I think the Gold card is a better return on your investment in terms of the points. But for perks, the Amex Platinum, you still get access to Delta lounges when flying Delta. although there are some new rules coming in. They're trying to make it harder for people to get into the lounges because they've been so crowded these days.
They have. And there's like so I have the platinum. I'm a big traveler. We travel a lot, obviously. Should I be sticking with my platinum opposed to the gold?
Well, I think, and it's so funny because so many people are kind of shocked when they hear me say the platinum's not actually the best.
Yes, I'm like taken back right now. I'm like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, when I go out to dinner with people, they'll throw down a platinum card and be like, oh yeah, are you proud of me? And I'm like, well, honestly, like there's a lot of cards that like will get you much. And, I'm sure you eat out quite a bit. I mean, with teenagers, your grocery bills must be crazy.
Ridiculous. So food and clothes. I would say like food is my number one. And then, with Joe, it's a lot of purchases at like Home Depot, building supplies, that kind of thing.
So this is where, if you're, this is where the Capital One Venture cards are really good. So there's a Capital One Venture X and Venture X for Business, and that's 2 points per dollar on everything you buy. Okay. Which for small business owners, like that adds up really, really quickly. So like I would say like getting an Amex Gold with 4X on dining and groceries and just maximizing those categories, and then putting most other expenses on like a Capital One Venture or Venture X card. That's 2X on everything else. So the goal of the points game is not to be earning that 1 point like you're earning today on most purchases. You would like quadruple your points earned by using a gold and then that Capital One card. And the Capital One card also transfers to airlines, but you can also use Capital One points. Like you could use it to pay for Ubers. You can use it to pay for the taxes and fees when you use your points to upgrade your kids to premium economy. So my advice to anyone listening is it might be good to diversify and get, 2 to 3 different credit cards that have different value to you. And then the last value, is perks. So like if you fly United a lot out of Newark, it might make sense to get one of those United credit cards because they raised the bag price, the check bag fees this year. Almost all airlines are raising those prices, but you can get a $95 credit card that gets you free bags for you plus 4 people traveling. So every time you fly, you're saving hundreds of dollars. So, but you don't want to spend everything on that United card. You should be spending on an Amex card, which then you can transfer to a bunch of different partners. So I would say, I know this sounds like overwhelming, but to people listening, you actually can improve your credit score by getting a new credit card or 2 every year, because what happens is you get more credit available to you. And now let me just put this important caveat. You must pay these off in full every month because especially with the Amex charge cards, I mean, it's wild the amount of interest you'll pay, and the interest you pay will negate the value of any points and then some. So you have to be maniacal about paying your bills in full on time in order to win at the points game. Because especially with these travel credit cards, they have up to 30% APR, which is wild. Even if you make the minimum payments, you're gonna be in quicksand, and so you're gonna be paying more in interest. But if you're if you're financially sound, if you're gonna get a new credit card and not be tempted to run up a balance, if you can pay it off every month with your checking account, then by all means, getting a couple credit cards a year, because you're gonna get a huge sign-up bonus. The sign-up bonuses now are like 100,000 points or thereabouts. So you're going to get $1,000 in value just for getting the card. And then you earn a lot of points because you're going to spend where that card gives you the bonuses, like the travel and dining. There's bonuses for like all sorts of categories these days. So, the goal of putting together a good point strategy is having a couple different cards you use for different reasons.
Yeah. So you need multiple. So here's my last question about this section of questions I have for you on credit cards. Envy. I buy a lot of clothes. I do not have a rewards. I know this sounds crazy. I always when I did the bank account, they gave me a credit card through the bank account. And I'm not talking about like the debit card, like a credit card. And I'm like, no. I need to switch this up. Like, what should I be? And it can't be an Amex because a lot of these Australian brands, and they do not take Amex. So is it the Capital One?
Yeah, the Capital One Venture X Business is a no-brainer. It's a charge card like Amex. So like on months where you need to put like 60 grand on this vendor, you'll be earning 2 points per dollar. It's basically getting 2% back. Which when you think about how much you spend on all those purchases, that's why I know so many of my, small business owners, event planners who are putting huge amount, interior designers who are buying a lot of goods. like the Venture X business card, you're going to earn double points, and then you can use those points. Like I said, you could even use those points on a private jet or a Blade or, something like that. The Capital One points are really valuable. So
that's what I wanted to make sure, like, because can I use them in places that I want to go? Like, for instance, the Platinum card, I'm a traveler. I pick United as my airline, right?
Yeah.
They give me, every time I book first class, they give me half of my points, I think it is, back, which is, for me, it's like all day, every day. That's what I do,
Yes. Yeah. So the Amex Business Platinum gives you 35% back when you pay with points. And then the Business Centurion, which is like the best, the Amex Black Card, they actually give you 50% back, which makes it super valuable.
Right.
So so like the Capital One points, you could actually buy any United flight. It's like 1 cent per point in value. So I think for like a small business owner, and that current sign up bonus, I don't have it in front of me, but it's usually like it was up to 300,000 points earlier this year. So
wow. All right. I'm doing it when we hang up today. That's going to be my thing of the day.
I'll send you my referral link.
Yeah, no, why don't you do that? Text me when we hang up, because that is like on my list of to do for today. See, this is why my mother, guys, Donna Marco loves Brian Kelly. This is like her favorite podcast episode. She's like, when are you having the points guy back? He's my absolute favorite. She can listen to you all day. She loves everything that you say. She's not even a big travel. She dies for you.
Donna, one of my bucket list life experiences, I've been to Greenland with Martha Stewart. I've been on safari. I need to be down the Jersey Shore with Donna, drinking like a sugar-rimmed Cosmopolitan, talking shit. Like that's like top 3 bucket list experience for you. So Donna, I'm coming for you.
Oh my God. She would be so excited. I'm going to make that happen. We're going to have sugar rimmed Cosmos with Donna Marco. You don't even know, you would laugh, Brian, for hours, and you don't even know what you're laughing at. It's hysterical.
Wait, one more thing on the credit cards, by the way. So for anyone listening who pays rent, so there's a new credit card. Well, it's not new anymore. It's a couple years old.
Built, right?
Built, BILT. I'm like a founding investor, full disclosure, but it's a no annual fee credit card where you earn points on rent. And for so many people, rent is your most, your biggest monthly purchase. And with Built, you can transfer to United 1-to-1, Alaska Airlines, and a bunch of other really valuable, Emirates, Virgin. So if you pay rent, you should be using Built. And it works with almost every landlord. Even if you send your landlord a check, you can send it via Built and earn points for that. And it's just basically the biggest no-brainer. There's no fees attached to it. There will be, a lot of people say, well, my landlord charges 3% to pay with credit card, but you don't via Built. It's 0% on rent payments.
Wow. And I remember I went to that party that you guys threw, and I thought that was insane back then, that people could actually, that's your biggest expense most of the time, right? Is like your mortgage or your rent. And so that's kind of crazy that that's possible. So is that a Built credit card? Like, how do people find that? Yeah.
So Built Rewards is, I think that's the Instagram handle, but it's a Wells Fargo credit card. And you earn not just 1x on rent, but 2x on travel and 3 points per dollar on dining. And if you live in major cities, there's like these Built dining restaurants where you earn 6 points per dollar. So it's pretty incredible for a no annual fee credit card. That, I would say, for beginners, between that and like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which has a $95 annual fee, those are like the really solid cards to get you earning points without paying hundreds in fees.
Right. Which is awesome. I thought that was so incredible when you told. Obviously, we own a bunch of apartment buildings. We have a lot of tenants, so we would love to be paid that way. I think that's a no-brainer, really. Yep. I think that's a no-brainer.
I'll connect you with the Built team because Built is also a rental platform for all your tenants, so you can get paid electronically. It's good for you. It's better than trying to collect checks that are delayed or whatever. It's like an integrated system. Like landlords love it, renters love it. It's solving a big problem in the market.
For sure. Finding the one can feel impossible, and in today's world, it's even harder. False profiles, inaccurate pictures, ghosting on dates. Is this sounding familiar? But if you're ready to make your move to a new place, it doesn't have to feel like dating. All it takes is a simple search on apartments.com to find your perfect match. Whether you're looking for a 3-bedroom condo downtown or a 2-bedroom duplex in a quiet neighborhood, a cozy studio in a walkable city, or even a single-family home in a cul-de-sac, you can find a place that checks all the right boxes. So whichever stage of life you're in, settle down in your perfect home by using apartments.com. No more swiping or awkward first dates. Make it easier to get a place that gets you. Visit apartments.com, the place to find a place. Let me talk to you about, because I know everyone was very interested in this the last time I had you on, booking flights. Everyone stresses out about that. I think I've texted you once or twice randomly trying to book a flight. Like, is it still Google Flights that you think is the best situation?
Yes, but Google Flights, I want everyone at home to become a flight booking ninja. And it's not that hard. So yeah, like right now, so google.com/flights is the platform you should be using, because and now Southwest Airlines, which used to be excluded, is now even included. So almost all major airlines will show. So never just go to like an airline website. And, you know, the online travel agencies, they're not great. So Google Flights will allow you to pull in your home airport. You can even put in like surrounding airports. But the feature, I'm not sure I went over this last time, is called the Explore feature. So when you're on Google Flights, you can click the Explore button. And what that will let you do, and the best way to find airfare deals these days is to be flexible. So what you can do is, say you live in Chicago, you can put in Chicago to Europe, and you want to go for 1 month in July. And it'll actually reverse engineer and show you a map of all the places you can go in Europe. And my recommendation is go where the prices are cheapest. This also works for like the Caribbean. If you're like agnostic, you're like, I just need to get away for a week. It'll actually show you a map of the Caribbean with prices on each of the islands, so you can hunt for the cheapest deals. And if you don't find a good deal, you can say, well, Turks and Caicos, tell me when flights go under $400, and they'll email you whenever the flight prices drop. So between being flexible with your dates and hunting around, you can actually, airfare is now lower than what it was in 2019. So we had that huge COVID increase where it was just psychotic, you know, when it was like $1,000 to go to Miami. Now those prices have come down, and there are a lot of really good deals out there.
Oh, so we're getting back to like better prices with flights as well. Yeah, I can't tell. A lot of times I do pay with points, so I'm like, you know, and people ask like how much the flights are, and I've heard recently that they are little less. They're getting better. We're going to, I'm going to the Amalfi Coast this summer. Well, it's our 20-year wedding anniversary, Brian. 20 years with this man. And we got married on Joe's 30th birthday. So it's kind of like a 50th.
It's a big one.
/20. So it's a big one. So we're doing, the Amalfi Coast. Any tips for me out there? Do you like Positano, Capri? Am I good there?
You're going to be good. You know what's so funny? I've been to Italy a bunch of times. I've never done Amalfi. I think I've always told myself, I'm like, you know, that'll be like when, like with my husband, who doesn't quite exist yet, but I'm sure you can give me tips. So you've got a lot of gays in your orbit.
I do.
And by the way, that episode, with your cousin, was so cute. What was that? The first or second episode, the dinner and Joe officiating.
Was that so sweet? Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
Wait till you see him officiate the wedding. Andy Cohen has told me multiple times, like, it is my best moment that I've ever seen Joe. Like, he loves it. Everyone cries. It's coming up soon on the Housewives. It's such a touching moment. And that story that he told about coming out and how, you know, we have a lot of masculine men in this family, and my brother-in-laws, and he was just like the most nervous to tell Joe Gorga, and Joe Gorga was the most accepting of it. Like it was just such a moment. And the two of them have such a great bond. Like they just like, I've heard my cousin Nick say like, yeah, that's my best friend. And I'm like, what? Like I'm your best friend. And like, they just have like an awesome bond. So I'm glad you saw that.
I love that. And Joe is just the best. I mean, he doesn't care who you are. I mean, I've hung out with him a bunch of times, and he's just always like, he's there to have a good time. He loves people for who they are. So I get chills thinking about like those scenes and what you guys show, because people are always shocked. Like I live, in New York City and in New Hope, PA, pretty liberal places, but like it's still tough for people in New Jersey, and there's still a lot of stigma in 2024. People don't realize that it's still not easy for people in a lot of families, different cultural backgrounds. Like there's still a lot of pressure. So seeing this on national TV and normalizing it you can never have enough of that. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
But back to your point, I've never done Amalfi. But
oh my God, you're going to save that for your lover's trip. I get that.
Yeah.
It is and you're such a sightseer. Like, I feel like you go to the spots, like you're seeing, like, you're going to see, I get that. Save it for the lover's trip. Your child's going to have to wait to see the Amalfi Coast, the poor kid. Like he hasn't been enough places in this world. I cannot.
But I do want to go to like Southern Italy. Like, I do want to do Sardinia. We'll see. Yeah.
Those spots.
There's so many places to go.
You just released the best airlines survey, okay, that everyone needs to check this out. So break it down for me. What is the best, or do you want to count it down? You want to start at 5? Let's see what you're going to do.
Let's count it down. So, people always ask me, they're like, Brian, what's the best airline? And it's a very personal question because frankly, if you live next to Newark, for example, like the best airline for you is Newark, because you're not going to drive 2 hours each way to fly Delta out of JFK. Like that would be dumb, even if it is moderately better in flight. The best is whatever, provides you the most nonstop flights. So at the Point Sky, our editorial team, we take tons and tons of data on like on-flight arrivals, how many bags airlines lose, how big their network is, their lounges. So
delay flights, is that in there?
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest delays.
That's all I care about.
Exactly, because time is money. At the end of the day, just getting to where you're going. So let's start at number 5. Southwest Airlines came in at number 5. We gave them a lot of bonus points because Southwest still allows 2 free check bags. And especially with like all the major airlines charging insane amounts for bags, like Southwest wins there. But of course, they don't have, you can't fly to Europe. Their route network is a little bit smaller. So number 4 is American Airlines. So, in the US, we've got United, Delta, and American. So American comes in last of the big 3, so to speak. Their frequent flyer program is pretty decent, but the airline itself has some kinks to work out, we'll say. Number 3, and this is the airline that scored the highest for frequent flyer program, is United. So United, I think United is undergoing this big transformation. They had merged with Continental years ago, and for years it's been like really tough merging those like cultures. I think United's on the other side of it now. Their operations they had their meltdown last summer, but by and large, United has like made huge investments. Their Polaris product's pretty solid when compared to the others. So United came in at number 3. Number 2 is Alaska, which is one of the most on-time airlines. They don't really, for us East Coasters, you can really just fly them to like the West Coast. But Alaska Airlines, they also have a really good frequent flyer program. And for the 6th year in a row. I
got to give you a little drum roll. I want to know the number 1 airline.
The number 1 airline in America for the 6th year in a row is Delta. So Delta.
You love Delta. I know it.
Well, it's the data, Melissa.
Tell me why Delta's the best. Tell me. I'm such a United girl, but go ahead.
Well, it's funny. I actually fly United more because it's easier for me being in New Hope and downtown. But Delta wins. Delta's the best on time, of the big 3. Their operation runs smoothly. Their employees are happy. Delta does profit sharing. So and a lot of the airlines, those frontline employees can be pretty gruff and like nasty.
Yes.
I think Delta as a culture, as a company, wins lots of awards. They value their employees. So Delta wins there, although their frequent flyer program, I would say, is the weakest of the major carriers. But they lose less bags, they're on time, and they're good to their customers. So for that reason, for the 6th year in a row, Delta takes the top spot in the Point Sky Best Airlines.
Well, congratulations to Delta. That's pretty awesome. But you know what? Like I feel like I don't fly Delta a lot because it's not convenient with Newark. Is that what it is? Is that why I'm always on United? That's the
for
situation.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in JFK, let me just preface it. I mean, JFK this summer, there's extra construction happening. I almost missed my flight 2 weeks ago to London because it was 2 hours I was in Dumbo. I thought it would be like 45 minutes to an hour. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And they actually put out an advisory. So this summer, if you're in New York City, take the train, air train if possible to JFK because the traffic is a nightmare.
No, it has been, and I'm just going to say, driving from New Jersey to Long Island constantly now, having my new envy in Huntington, New York. I am like, what is the traffic's back? Like, I don't know. It's like, the pre-COVID traffic is here again. Like even the other night I went to the Watch What Happens Live party for Andy Cohen, his 15 years. And I'm never late. Like I was so frustrated. I was like 1 hour late because of traffic. And I was like,
and the Holland now closes at 11 PM, leaving the city.
Why does it do that? Why does the Holland close? Is that permanently?
I guess I think they're just doing like structural upgrades or something, but it's been a while now. So yeah, public transit people, like it sucks that New York's isn't better. Getting to JFK requires a transfer or LaGuardia. It's tough to get to, but yeah, the traffic, and it's not even just at rush hour. I landed the other week from JFK at 10 PM and it took 90 minutes to get into the city. It's like consistently horrible.
Like it's been bad. It's rough out there again. I'm like, everyone go back on the Zoom. Everyone get back on your computers, please.
I know, right? How is it going to the shore? Is the shore traffic insane?
You know what? It's busy again. Yes. Like we were spoiled for way too long. We would just fly down to the shore house. I went to the Hamptons this past weekend and it wasn't bad because I hit it at if you hit it at the right time, you're good, but yeah, traffic's a whole nother thing. On Display with Melissa Gorga is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and your auto policies. The process only takes minutes and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Let me ask you about this. Turbally. Are you one of those people who go on it? Is it real? Like I have a friend who hates travel and he's showing it to me before we get on. I'm like, don't show me this shit. I don't even want to see it.
So for anyone listening, you might have seen in the news lately, there's been a spat of really bad turbulence. And turbulence, you can predict to a certain degree. Most of the extreme turbulence that you see in these news stories where everything's that's unpredictable because if the pilots would know about it, they would tell, everyone to put everything away. But the website is Turbly, Turbli.
Turbly. Okay.
Turbly.com. So, and it goes both ways. So if you're a nervous flyer, I know half of my nervous flyer friends actually like to have data that shows them, hey, look, the data shows at most you're going to have low turbulence or even medium. At least you can prepare. The other half of my friends are like, no, it just exacerbates my anxiety. So, but you can go on this website and it's pretty, decently accurate at predicting based on flight data of, other flights on that route. They share every day. Tons of data. Weather patterns, are a huge cause of turbulence. So I would say overall, I don't use it because I don't really care. My seatbelt is always on the plane. Even when I'm sleeping in the lie flat position, I'll always have it over me. Moderate. I've flown thousands and thousands of flights and I've never had, knock on wood, the crazy turbulence that they're talking about.
Right.
So
I've noticed a lot more turbulence lately too. Almost every one of my flights, there's a little something going on.
Yeah. And that is a common, with the weather patterns having changed so much lately, you are seeing more turbulence, but my biggest tip is just stay seated when possible. Just keep your seatbelt on because if anything comes out of nowhere, if your seatbelt's on, you are going to be fine. And planes do not crash because of turbulence. You can be shocked at what planes can do up in the air, but so having your seatbelt on is my biggest tip. But also it's so rare. Your odds of getting horribly injured are 10,000 times higher going to the airport on our crazy roads, which we see every day. Crazy people.
Is that right? Do you know the statistics of give me a statistic?
Well, in 2023, there was only one out of 30 million flights. There was only one deadly crash and it was in Nepal. a small plane crash. So it was the safest year ever. So when you think about millions and millions of people flying globally, and there was just one small plane in 2023, it's pretty incredible. There's
Wow, that makes me feel so much better. That should calm everyone down out there. That's pretty amazing.
Like when you look at the numbers, it's almost impossible, between like car accidents and gun violence, like all of those things are just dramatically higher than flying. And when you think about flying, at least people are going through metal detectors, like airports are safe places, and the pilots are highly trained. There's two of them at all times. So even if one is drunk, the other's going to smell it. Like there are these checks and balances that don't exist on the road when anyone with like a crack pipe can get behind the wheel. So
right. If someone starts, hyperventilating or can't breathe, we got another one to jump right in.
Yeah, exactly. So flying is safe, people, more than it's ever been.
Well, I love to hear that. I'm sure everyone else does too. I've heard that you've extended your expertise now into like concert. You learned about like concert tickets and traveling. Like, so if we go to Europe, we are going to see Taylor Swift for like a tenth the price that we saw at Madison Square Garden.
It is crazy. So funny enough, I was never a Swiftie. My ex-boyfriend, I took him to the one in Philly last year. And I'd seen her live, but the Eras tour, there's something magical. Have you been yet? Melissa?
No, I'm not a Swiftie. I do think she's amazing, but I probably won't see the concert.
So anyway, like I saw it in Philly, and it was like, I will say it's a lot of energy in the US. Like the Swifties are like, they have these guttural screams and cries. Like it was a little bit overwhelming, I'll be honest, but an incredible show. And I was like, I kind of want to see this again. So when I was in Tokyo in February, she just so happened to be performing, and I went, and it was kind of amazing to see it in a much different environment. Like in Japan, people are very thoughtful. You're not getting the drunk, crying, screaming person next to you.
Right.
And the tickets were like, because in New York City, I mean, the US tickets to sit on the floor, in New York City last year, it was like started at $6,000 just to be anywhere on the field. And it went up to 25 grand for front row. In Europe, so I went in Lisbon 2 weeks ago, and it was, I mean, immaculate vibes. It was $500 US to be on the floor, front section. 500 versus, I would say 5,000 is the lowest you would have gotten. So that's the differential.
I have proof on this because when I was just in Rome, my tour guide, who had been to America once or twice, we were on these golf carts and he was taking us through Rome and showing us things. He told us that he had just saw, was it Taylor? I don't know if he was telling us it was Kanye. I don't know who it was, but he was like, for $200, I sat like 4 rows back. And it was in Italy. So this is true. Like, and I was like, wow, he's like, people don't even realize that, like, just wait till you're on the vacation and then figure out who's in concert, or you can even plan a vacation around a concert that you want to go to, and you're still saving money, and you're in Europe.
The ticket prices in the US are just out of control. I'm like, since when did everyone and I've been going to concerts for a very long time. Like, you used to always be able to, like, $750, you're getting like front row to like most concerts. Like $1,000 was like, okay, you can go see anyone you want, pretty much front row. Now it's just insane. So yeah, seeing Taylor abroad, plus in Europe, it was like a nice mix. Like, and the floor is open seating. So I'm 6'7", so I love that. I can see the show from wherever I am.
Yeah, you got the best seat in the house all the time.
And I hate being in like a little tiny seat in a massive, if you need to go to the bathroom, you're kind of boxed in. So for me to be on an open field in the summertime in Portugal, they have fireworks. It's like, so seeing Taylor in Europe is like the way to do it, in my humble opinion. So yeah, and especially if you use your frequent flyer miles. And I will say, for people who have points, there's it's not new, but if you're always confused with like, how do I actually use my points? I want to go see Taylor in Sweden or whatever, or go to anywhere. There's a website called Point Me. So it's point.me. And you can put in what type of points you have, Amex points, Chase, Bilt, and you can put in where you want to go. It's kind of like Google Flights, but for frequent flyer miles. So if you've got a bunch of miles and you're like, is this a good deal? Point Me will actually tell you the best ways to redeem for whatever trip you want to take.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Yes, and my tour guide just told me all about this. So this is real. Okay, but before I let you go, I need to know what's next for Brian Kelly. First, just tell me right off the top of your head, where are your next 3 trips? Because I know they're probably scheduled and you're ready to go.
I'm excited this summer. So I'm like traveling longer now, especially with having a 20-month-old. Actually, I mean, so wait, I'm going to Paris in a couple of weeks for Men's Fashion Week. I have some
nice.
friends. So it's kind of, and I'm leaving my son at home. This is just like a dad's trip with a couple of my friends. And then we're ending in London. I'm seeing Taylor for a 4th time in London at Wembley Stadium. So that's just like a quick 4-day trip. And then one of my favorite places in the United States, especially in the summer, is Provincetown, Massachusetts. So P-Town, it's, very LGBTQ friendly. There are tons of straight people there too. It's very inclusive. It's like on the very northern tip of Cape Cod. Highly recommend. If you're ever in Boston, you can take a ferry over. It is just like happiness. So I've rented a place there for 2 weeks, and it coincides with Family Week, which is when all the LGBTQ families from all around the country kind of come and convene in this idyllic little fishing village in Massachusetts. So,
I love it. That sounds amazing.
And then I'm ending the summer with a week. I got a villa in Ibiza. Have you ever done Ibiza? I feel like that's your vibe.
So I'm due for Ibiza for sure. I might have to join you out there. How big is this villa?
Yeah, seriously.
I want to come out there. How far is Ibiza? Like, how long is that flight?
Well, you fly to Madrid, which is like 7 hours, and then it's like an hour flight from Madrid. Or you can go through Paris or London.
All right. So it's not bad. It's not too bad.
But it's like, it's known for being a party island, but it actually has a lot of spa, yoga. There's a new Six Senses, like luxury spa resort. So it's kind of like you can pick and choose your adventure. You can definitely go to those fun beach party, like, beach restaurants like Saint-Tropez. But but there are fun nightclubs if you do want to go out, which, daddy needs to let his hair down once in a while.
Oh my God. And you're just the best daddy. I am so jealous of little Dean and all of the vacations he's go on. But thank you, Brian. This has been so informative. My listeners love you. Make sure you guys are all following him, the Points Guy on Instagram. He always throws out tips and good things, and he documents a lot in his stories, and he'll show you what's comfortable and not comfortable. So you don't want to miss out on all of that. He's the absolute best. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. I love having you. And listen, when are you coming to the Shore House? We're having a drink with Donna Marco. We need to make that happen, at least, at minimum.
Or maybe we'll have the caramel green apple teenies if we're feeling crazy. But Donna, I'm coming for you this summer. We're making it happen.
Oh my God, she's going to be so happy. Thank you, Brian. Enjoy all your travel this summer, and I will see you soon.
See you soon. Safe travels.
Ciao.
Hey, it's Jax Taylor. Check out my new podcast, In the Mind of a Man. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. I'm talking dating and relationships and breaking down the mysteries of the male mind and, in some cases, male behavior. It's real, it's honest, and of course, it's all coming from my own personal experiences. I mean, you see me on my wild pass on Vanderpump Rules of the Valley, right? It's unfiltered conversations, surprising revelations, and all kinds of guests. Like my reality TV friends, I'll have psychologists, I'll have relationship experts, and much, much more. So follow, rate, and review In the Mind of a Man with me, Jax Taylor, wherever you get your podcasts.
Stream all the movies and shows you love for free on Pluto TV.
Say what now? Showtime.
That means drama is free with heart-wrenching stories from Love and Basketball, Power, and Greenleaf.
In this family, we live by the Spirit.
And laughter is free with gut-busting comedies like Key and Peele, The Neighborhood, Everybody Hates Chris, and Boomerang. Watch all the hits, all for free, from all your favorite devices.
Oh my God, I love it!
Feel the free Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
If you've never been to the Presidio, San Francisco's very own national park site, consider this your invitation to visit and bring your own. Bring your own flavor for a barbecue with views of the Golden Gate Bridge. Bring your own imagination and explore the exciting Presidio tunnel tops. Bring your own curiosity and discover miles of trails, beaches, food trucks, free events, and more. Plan your visit at presidio.gov.